This is my pool. After only 1 week of running the filter, keeping the chlorine levels high enough. So, what was the problem?
Hello guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to flock your pool. This is a perfect solution for when the filter is just not getting it crystal clear.
Nathan from the future here. The reason that the pool was not crystal clear was not because the filtration was poor, but because algae is able to go through sand filters very easily.
So, I could change out the filter media, but that would be pretty costly compared to a cheaper alternative, which is just using some aluminum sulfate. So before you flock your pool, you're going to want to shock it. So just use your shock that you enjoy using on your pool, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Once you've shocked it, it's very important. You want to turn your pump to recirculate, because if it's put onto filter mode, then the flocculant will just clog up your filter. So you want to make sure to turn your pump on recirculate. Once your pump is on recirculate, then you're going to want to add your flocculant. For me, I'm just going to be using this. It's right off of Amazon. Once you have your flocculant, obviously you want to make sure that you have the correct dosage selected, and then you're just going to add your flocculant, preferably on a day where you can let the pool sit. That's why I'm applying it in the evening, so that tomorrow afternoon I can come out here and it should be completely dropped to the bottom. Okay, so you can sort of see that the pool is starting to get white, which might scare you, because it actually might get even cloudier than you had it. But it's okay. All you're gonna do is you're gonna let your pump run for enough times to almost circulate the water. So if you have a really big pool, that'll probably be like 4 hours. But if you have a smaller pool, then 2 hours will do. So I'm just gonna run our pump for like 1.5 hours, because it's only 20,000 gallons. So and the water is really warm, so it will easily dissolve and mix around. So anyway, that's what it looks like once you've added it.
So it has been over 24 hours since I added the aluminum sulfate, and you can see that it's cleared up very well and everything is at the bottom. So now I just got to vacuum all this stuff off, and I'm going to put this underwater so you can see what it looks like when it's getting vacuumed. After letting the flock dissolve and sit for 24 hours, I was then able to vacuum the pool, which you're seeing right now. To do this, I just very carefully put the vacuum into the pool without disturbing the flock very much. And as you can see, the water is not perfectly crystal clear, but after one filtration cycle, it immediately turned crystal clear as the little aluminum sulfate particles still suspended in the water got filtered out. This is what the pool looked like after I had vacuumed it and then ran the filter. However, unfortunately, just a few weeks later, the pool started to look green again. So unfortunately, the problem with the flocculant was not that it didn't work, but that it wasn't sustainable, because the algae was going right through the filter, and so the algae was building up again. Even though the chlorine levels were 3 to 5 parts per million, the algae was still growing. So I'm like, what on earth can I do? But then I found a very cheap option to kill the algae effectively. So I found some algaecide on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. It was like a gallon. This video is not sponsored, by the way. I need to tell you that. It's not sponsored, but this is like
$13 for a gallon of algaecide that treats 10 to 20,000 gallons, depending on how bad the algae growth is. But it basically just enables the chlorine to kill the algae.
Future Nathan here. Algaecides enable chlorine to kill the algae by disintegrating the algae's protective membrane, which allows the chlorine to kill the cell's nucleus. However, it must be noted that when you add algaecide, you need to have a good amount of chlorine in your pool, or else nothing will happen. Also, you will have to add chlorine after you add algaecide, as the chlorine levels will drop a lot, depending on how much algae you have.
As proof in the pool behind me, as it's crystal clear now. And so the flocculant was just a temporary solution. So we had to get rid of the flocculant and poured in algaecide, and that is what fixed the pool.